Transformation. That sweet, seductive word that dances on the tongues of every guru, influencer, and would-be philosopher on this side of sanity. But let's cut through the fog of this feel-good farce and ask ourselves, are we truly transforming? Or are we just sleepwalking through a well-decorated labyrinth of buzzwords and baloney? Buckle up, because we're about to dissect this modern madness with the precision of a drunk surgeon. The harsh truth is that often this is actually just transformation instead. What's a trance, you might ask? A trance is a half-conscious state characterized by an absence of response to external stimuli, typically as induced by a kind of hypnosis. Ever felt like you were sleepwalking through life? Ever met someone that seemed like they just weren't all there? Ever had a conversation with someone and it did not matter what you said or what actually occurs in the real world? Yeah, that's a trance. Here we stand in the age of endless definitions, labels, and the incessant need to categorize everything from our coffee choices to our spiritual beliefs. Our fearless speaker from the transcription rips into this facade with the gusto of a bull in a china shop. They pose a rattling good question. What the hell does rearranging and recategorizing these labels have to do with actual, tangible transformation? Spoiler alert, about as much as a fish has to do with a bicycle. Now let's dive into the murky waters of our current cultural zeitgeist, where being a social justice warrior is more about collecting woke points than affecting real change. Our society is neck deep in a trend that's as superficial as a spray tan. The truth bomb here, we're not evolving, we're revolving around the same old tired axis of isms and ideologies, mistaking mental gymnastics for genuine growth. But wait, there's more. The fundamental flaw in our approach. It's detached, hyper-analytical, and defensive, driven by underlying currents of fear and guilt. Imagine that. Our lofty attempts at change are actually just a defense mechanism against facing our own internal mess. It's like trying to clean your house by shoving everything under the rug and calling it feng shui. It's a masterclass in misdirection, turning the noble quest for equality into a game of who's the biggest victim, and thus who wields the most moral authority. It's as if society has turned into a grand theater where everyone is vying for the leading role of most oppressed. In the grand scheme of our ongoing charade of transformation, identity politics serves not as a bridge but as a barricade. Under its banner, we're not uniting, we're splintering into ever smaller factions, each hoarding its collection of labels like a dragon hoards treasure. This isn't progress, it's a regressive tug-of-war over who gets to define reality based on their specific viewpoint or grievance. It's all sound and fury, signifying nothing but our ability to divide and be conquered by our own inner turmoil and societal manipulation. The solution? It's embarrassingly simple, yet as overlooked as a sober thought at a stag party. Honesty. Strip away the jargon, the labels, and the relentless categorization, and what are you left with? Just us, raw and real, and maybe a bit scared of what we'll find. But therein lies the path to true transformation, not through an ever-expanding dictionary of terms, but through real, gritty, honest-to-goodness self-reflection and connection with others. Let's call out the elephant in the room, the modern psychological framework that's become the new religion. Dressing up our neuroses in fancy terms doesn't heal them, it just gives them a snazzy outfit and a front-row seat in our lives. It's time to stop venerating these modern constructs and start breaking down the real barriers to our growth. And what are we really chasing with all these labels and definitions? Connection, comfort, a sense of okayness, feelings that no amount of intellectual posturing can manufacture. Our society's addiction to overanalysis has us so tangled up in our own heads that we wouldn't recognize genuine connection if it slapped us across the face with a wet fish. In the end, the call to action is clear. Wake up from the transformation. Let's stop redecorating our mental prisons and start actually breaking free. True transformation is not a matter of finding the right label or the perfect psychological model. It's about engaging with life and ourselves in a way that's grounded in reality, not in the echo chambers of our minds. So, let's toast to throwing off the shackles of transformation. It's time to stop being characters in someone else's narrative and start writing our own stories. Raw, unedited, and actually real.